Go. I'm open. I'm open. Fake. Come around. Oh, all day. That's how we do it. Jorge, good teamwork.
Yeah.
That was good teamwork.
It makes the dream work. Huh?
I know. It's great, wasn't it? Good job.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, this has something to do about work crew, doesn't it?
It sure does.
Well, you know, one thing on work crew is you gotta work together, and this is kind of the crew part of work crew. For me, it was kind of a wake-up call, because when I went to work crew after my senior year at high school, I went there, and I'm an only child, so I had never really had to work a lot together. My mom was always working. I was always alone, and when I'm on work crew, boom, there's a whole bunch of people that were together. And I will be honest, it's a bit of a wake-up call, because I wasn't used to people like living together as much. I'd gone to camp for a week, but I'd never been to anything like that was like a month. Or skateboarders coming through. Hey, this is real life right here. So it was a wake-up call for me, and I had to get used to a whole bunch of things I wasn't used to, about people just kind of having a bad day, having a grumpy day, some people a little bit too energetic when I wanted to chill. There's a lot of things that I had to learn, and so there's like kind of practical things about living in community, but there's also, it wasn't just practical stuff about community. I went there to grow in my faith, and actually a lot of these things that were frustrating for me about people and about myself were actually golden opportunities for me to deepen my relationship with Christ. And so we're gonna talk a little bit about that in this session for work crew training.
Right. Hey, a couple things that are gonna come up while you're on work crew. One of them is conflict. There's gonna be people who maybe you don't get along with quite as well as you do other people. There's going to be conflict with people you really like and are really good friends with. First thing to remember is give grace. Maybe ask the question, why is this happening? What could I have done to cause the conflict? The other thing is, use your work crew bosses as a resource. Talk about it. Don't harbor things. Keep short accounts. Remember that you're all there because you're trying to follow Jesus the best you can. The other thing that's probably going to happen is there's going to be people who are attracted to each other, and so I just want to encourage you to just not think about dating anybody while on work crew, not start a relationship while you're on work crew. What that does is it usually makes the couple its own entity, and then the rest of work crew another entity. And what we're going for is a cohesive community that loves each other and are going after Christ together. When people start to pair off and couple off, that really fragments the community that can happen on work crew. And the other thing is, you're in high school, you're going to meet people from all over the country. I'm sure it's happened, but the overwhelming likelihood is that you won't end up dating a person you meet on work crew long term. And so you want to be able to look back on your work crew experience positively and not be like, yeah, that's the time I got my heart broken the worst, or whatever it is. And so, you know, if you want to, you can ask me sometime about how I made that mistake and how I learned from it. But yeah, you're going to be with people who are amazing, who love the Lord, who are, you get along with, that you're going to be like, I can't believe I didn't know you before this thing. And so part of it is going to be, oh man, and some of them might be people you're attracted to. But remember, you're part of, you want to be there as a part of the whole work crew and not there to couple off.
Yeah. So we have a couple things we want you to do. Below there's a Bible study on Hebrews 10, and it's about being together, working together, and growing deep in your faith. So you're going to get to go through that.
Right. Yeah. The long-awaited church visit is this week. Okay.
Boom, finally.
Hopefully.
I know.
Hopefully you're only long-awaiting a week before church visits. But this week, there's a few questions down in the form below about your church attendance this week and what you learned, and a couple of those things.
That's right. And then we have an assignment about encouraging people, because like the passage that you're going to do the Bible study on, we're to encourage one another, and all the more as we see the day approaching. And so actually we're going to ask you to kind of pause in the midst of this and reach out to some people, probably through text or something like that, give them an encouraging word, and just practice giving words of affirmation, saying something that might bring life into a person. Jorge's going to kind of tell you how this wraps up, and then we're about done.
Yeah. So next step is for you to fill out a work crew application. The way that works is, as we mentioned in the first video, is your leader is going to have to fill out a recommendation for you. So as soon as we receive your answers to these forms, we'll send your leader an email to fill out a recommendation for you. That'll send you an application that needs to be completed by March 1st. Okay. After that, in that work crew application, you'll be asked a few things like, when are you available and what camps are you available for? Okay. The best way to get a work crew spot is just to say you're available all summer, and pick a bunch of different camps. Again, the best way to get accepted for work crew is to have as wide of availability as possible. Obviously, if you know you're not available the month of June because you're going, on a trip with your family or a mission trip with your church, that's okay. But really make it as wide as possible. I would just encourage you to, when you do get placed, to accept it if you're available. This is not the time to think about like, oh, but I think Lost Canyon's cabins are nicer than Woodleaves or whomever's. The thing is that we're just going to trust that God has been in the process and placed you where you've been placed. And so if you're available for the dates you've been selected, I would hope that you would just say yes.
Yeah.
Just accept them and not go like, ooh, I was really hoping to go to, South Carolina or whatever.
Do we have a camp there?
I think so, isn't it?
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows what Young Life's up to?
North Carolina, I don't know.
Yeah, one of those Carolinas.
Yeah, one of those.
Yeah.
In the Carolinas. Anyway,
yeah.
So that is what's going to happen next. Obviously, the quicker you finish this training, the quicker your recommendation can go out, and the quicker you can fill out your application. We're really excited for you to be a part of a month-long work crew this summer.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Hey, it's going to take a lot of coordination, some teamwork. I say we end this video, if you've hung into this long, hitting a 3. Here, Jorge, hit me. Am I on the video?
Yeah, you're on the video.
Okay.
I think. I can't see.
Yeah, here we go. Ready? You see me? Right here. Okay.
Right there.
Nothing but net. See that? Oh, Jorge. That's right. That's right. We might not be that good at basketball. It's because we're crazy good area direct.